Captain Forrest here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over both these combatants to see who would win more often not in a cross-verse situation: Lucifer from the Supernatural verse versus Thanos from Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, if you guys are new to my channel, please leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for further content. Also, a huge shout out to the HU squad, massive shouts to the team, they've been a huge help in my videos, and also a special shouts to Korin. He was a huge help in this video for both these combatants, so much appreciated to him. So anyway, how this is going to go down: I'm going to talk about Lucifer, talk about Thanos, and then just get right into meat and potatoes of things with what both these combatants can really bring to the table. I'm going to start with Lucifer, and I'll talk a little bit about Thanos, and then just, hop back and forth, and then we'll get to the conclusions. I'll talk about who I think wins, and then yeah, let's get right into it. So Lucifer is the second of the 4 archangels created by God. He is also a fallen archangel and the first fallen angel. Lucifer serves as the overarching antagonist of seasons 1 to 4, the main antagonist of season 5, an unseen antagonist in season 6, and 8 to 10, the secondary antagonist of season 7 and 11, one of the 2 main antagonists of season 12 alongside Dr. Hess, and 13 alongside alternate Michael, the posthumous overarching antagonist of season 14 and the supporting antagonist in season 15. He is the original ruler of hell and the creator of demons, seen by them as the father figure and their god. As the second-born archangel, he is the younger brother of Michael and other brothers of Raphael and Gabriel. According to Gabriel, Lucifer is, or at least was, God's favorite and most beloved celestial, but when God asked for all angels to bow down to humanity, Lucifer refused, both out of jealousy and wounded pride over being commanded to bow to what he saw as broken, flawed, and murderous species, and no longer feeling he was God's favorite creation. This was caused by the mark of Cain corrupting him and boosting his dislike towards humanity. He waged a war against God, but was eventually cast out of heaven by God and banished to hell by Michael. All of Azazel's actions were motivated with the goal of eventually releasing Lucifer from his cage in hell. Like all other angels, Lucifer must have the permission of a strong enough human to use as his vessel, as he cannot forcefully possess a person. Being an archangel, Lucifer possesses much more power than any normal angel, every deity, and also every demon and species of monsters, most of whom defy him, thus being among the most powerful entities the Winchesters have ever encountered. But his power causes regular vessels to decay and require to drink vast amounts of demon blood or possess either his perfect vessel or an alternate, more stable vessel. Sam Winchester was predestined to be Lucifer's perfect vessel. Even though Sam was born to be Lucifer's perfect vessel, Lucifer needed to take some precautions, so he had Azazel create the special children in addition to freeing Lilith. Azazel managed to open a gate to hell and Lilith was set free. The next step was to get Dean to hell so he could break the first seal. Once the first seal was broken, Lilith began breaking the rest of the 66 seals so Lucifer himself could rise. Sam was the one who broke the final seal, thus setting Lucifer free. Lucifer came to Sam in the 3rd episode of season 5, disguised as Jessica, to try and get Sam to change. He eventually reveals himself as Lucifer, which shocks Sam. Lucifer tells Sam that he is Lucifer's perfect vessel, confidently adding that Sam will say yes. Despite Sam's insistence that he won't and will kill himself before that, Lucifer simply remarks that he'll just bring him back to life. To avoid this fate, Sam joins in the search for the cult, hoping it will kill Lucifer. In the 10th episode and the mid-season finale of season 5, Sam uses himself as bait to draw Lucifer's attention so Dean can sneak up and shoot him. Although fired at point blank range, Lucifer survives and continues with his ritual of summoning death. Meanwhile, he tells Sam that in about 6 months he is going to consent to possession. Lucifer follows this statement with a story about him and Michael and comments on how it's similar to Sam's own life. Sam forms the idea of tricking Lucifer back in the cage in the 20th episode of season 5 by saying yes and jumping into it with Lucifer inside him. Bobby points out to Sam that Lucifer will poke at everything to get control, but Sam believes he can beat Lucifer. In the 22nd episode of the season finale of season 5, Sam and Dean go to confront Lucifer in Detroit, who tells them that he knows of their plan, but is willing to give it a try. Creating a wager, Sam gives consent and Lucifer abandons his old vessel. Within minutes, Lucifer overpowers Sam and gains control over the perfect vessel. Lucifer later speaks to the mental image of Sam, who swears to regain control. Trying to make Sam accept it, he reveals Azazel's gang of demons that have been watching Sam since he was a child, and kills them all. But this does not appease Sam's spirit. Lucifer ignores Sam's anger. Lucifer initially spares Dean's life for Sam's sake, but when Dean becomes a major annoyance, especially during the confrontation with Michael at Stoll Cemetery, Lucifer attacks Dean with an inch of his life. Before he can deal the final blow, however, Sam manages to wrestle control back and open the cage, and throws himself, Lucifer, and along with Adam and Michael into the cage. In the 4th episode of season 5, in an alternate universe, Sam and Dean have a falling out, and Sam finally says yes to Lucifer, and Lucifer takes over Sam's body. Soon after, Lucifer and his army of demons spread the Croatoan virus and begin wiping out all of humanity. He is dressed in all white. Being the second oldest archangel, Lucifer is unimaginably powerful. He is described by Zechariah as powerful in ways that defy description. Lucifer can very easily kill even the mightiest of deities. Deities are insects, atoms, compared to Lucifer. This includes Yokoth and Glither, both of whom were capable of ravaging galaxies and devouring most of their home universe. Lucifer is more powerful than the younger archangels. Archangels are fierce, they're absolute, they are heaven's most terrifying weapons. Gabriel created a parallel universe that perfectly replicated the realities of over 300 TV shows and easily dissolved them with a thought. I think it's safe to say that Lucifer is certainly not lacking when it comes to attack power. Alright folks, let's skip down the yellow brick road and find out what's going on with Thanos. Thanos was a genocidal warlord from Titan, whose objective was to bring stability to the universe by wiping out half of all life, as he believed its massive population would inevitably use up the universe's entire supply of resources and perish. To complete this goal, Thanos set about hunting down all of the Infinity Stones, being confident that the combined force of the stones would grant him sufficient power. Thanos forged an alliance with Loki and Ronan the Accuser in order to track down some of the stones. However, both alliances cost Thanos much of his resources, including the Mind Stone and the loyalty of his daughters Gamora and Nebula. Fed up with all of his subordinates' ongoing failures, Thanos made the decision to seek and procure the stones himself. He began by forcing Etri to create the Infinity Gauntlet for him so that he would be able to wield the power of the stone safely. Thanos then engaged in a ferocious crusade in order to obtain the Infinity Stones. During his mission, both Thanos and his Black Order invaded multiple planets and slaughtered thousands to gain the stones, including Loki and the Asgardians. The quest even forced Thanos to sacrifice his beloved Gamora in order to take the Soul Stone. Thanos soon found himself challenged by the alliances of the entire universe's greatest heroes, which included the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy. However, despite facing off against the powerfully combined opposition and the wrath of Thor, Thanos still ultimately triumphed as he completed the Infinity Gauntlet, using it to finally complete his goal through the snap, which resulted in half of all life in the universe being wiped out with a mere snap of his fingers. Following his snap, Thanos had then ensured that this could never be undone by destroying all of the Infinity Stones, resulting in the Avengers tracking him down on planet 0259S, where Thor executed him with Stormbreaker. Concurrently to the snap, Scott Lang was stranded in the quantum realm and was assumed by the world to be a victim of the snap. 5 years later, Lang was freed by a rat and soon learned about the state of depression that Earth was going through. Despite the passing of time, Lang only experienced 5 hours in the quantum realm due to its unpredictable nature and being an alternate dimension. He then suggested this fact to the Avengers as a method of using time travel to resurrect the victims of the snap. They decided to pull a time heist where they could travel to alternate timelines and retrieve each of the Infinity Stones and use them to restore half of the universe's population. Although the blip restored every victim back to life, an alternate Thanos, having traveled the quantum realm from an alternate timeline, tried to correct his counterpart's mistake. He intended to destroy everything and make a new universe. However, Iron Man, at the cost of his own life, used the stones to disintegrate him and his entire army. Afterwards, everyone in the universe celebrated their victory, knowing that Thanos was ultimately defeated for good. What you gonna do, brother, when Thanos mania runs wild on you? Oh, You didn't know? Your ass better call somebody. Thanos is the Mad Titan, the Dark Lord, Galactic Overlord, Universal Genocide. He effortlessly defeated both Hulk and awakened Thor. His younger incarnation was able to overpower Thor, Mark 85 Iron Man, and worthy Captain America at the same time. Thor one-shotted and mortally wounded Zeus, who rules over Omnipotent City and is more powerful than Khonshu. Khonshu himself was able to move the moon to cause a solar eclipse. This feat was calced around the Planetary Plus ranges. With the complete Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos threatened to tear the universe down to its last atom and remake it. For those of you who are wondering about speed, don't worry, that's where we're heading now. Lucifer is far faster than any normal angel, so what does this entail? Well, Cass is capable of searching an entire town in seconds. Cass searches an entire town in seconds, which was calced around the Mach 910, which is easily massively hypersonic. Anna is capable of scattering cells across the universe. In the 13th episode of Season 5, to try to stop Lucifer from using his perfect vessel, Anna planned to kill Sam and then scatter his cells across the universe to try to prevent Lucifer from simply resurrecting him. Thanos was able to casually react to attacks from the likes of Thor, the Hulk, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, and etc. etc. Spider-Man dodged meteors, and this feat was calced around the Mach 177, which is massively hypersonic. Captain Marvel was able to search around Thanos' planet in a short span of time. This feat was calced around the relativistic plus to FTL ranges. Well, we're moving up to the east side, to the deluxe apartment in the sky. Moving on up to the east side, we finally got a piece of the pie. That's right, folks. It's time to talk about powers and abilities, stamina and intelligence. For starters, Lucifer can rip a being apart on a subatomic level with a snap of his fingers. Archangels can travel and send themselves and or others backwards or forwards through time. They can create time loops. They can also slow, freeze and speed up time. Lucifer is able to move objects and beings around with his mind with great ease. He's used both elaborate hand gestures and snaps of his fingers, similar to Gabriel. Archangels can erase, fabricate and restore memories too. Lucifer can manipulate the biological aspects of a creature, which he normally uses to inflict harm on his victims, such as to break their bones and damage organs. He's able to kill a Secret Service agent by inducing a massive cerebral hemorrhage. He's also used this ability to cause pain to the Winchesters on more than one occasion. Lucifer is one of the foremost masters in torture, both physical and spiritual. He tortured Lilith's soul to the point where he turned her into the original demon, and from there did the same to several other humans to create his demon army. In other words,
Lucifer gets jealous, and then he gets creative. He twists and tempts the human soul into the very first demon, as a screw you to God. That's what got him locked up in the first place.
That was Lilith?
Lucifer created the race of demons by twisting human souls. Because of this, he can manipulate their nature to his whim. With just a snap of his fingers, even while restrained by supernatural handcuffs, Michael was able to open a 12-hour rift to Purgatory, a place that exists unbound by the physical reality. Lucifer should have the same ability, as he is also an archangel. Archangels have extraordinarily keen senses that far surpasses virtually every being in creation, which obviously includes normal angels. Normal angels possess an acute sense of smell. This sense of smell is heightened to the point where they can identify people by smelling their body, bone, or by their blood. Angels can also identify people by sniffing their genes and hormones as well. Because angels operate on a different plane of existence, they can see atoms and ions. Angels can hear a human's conversations from miles away. They are able to locate any human on the planet and find them. They also have an amazing sense of taste, and they are able to taste every molecule in a piece of food. Heck, normal angels are able to see almost all supernatural activity around them. Cass could even see reapers, which remain invisible except to those they are seeking. They can also see demons and hellhounds. This perception also extends to the electromagnetic waves and can decipher radio modulation signals, as Cass described himself as a multi-dimensional wavelength of celestial intent in his true form, and can thus perceive such energies. The Infinity Gauntlet is a powerful gauntlet forged from special metal, melted by the energies of a neutron star by the Dwarf King Etri, under the strict command and supervision of Thanos himself, under threat of death. With it, Thanos can collectively harness the power of all 6 Infinity Stones without being physically overwhelmed, and efficiently channel and command their might without risk of misdirection or backfiring. Directly linked and representing all power in the universe, the Power Stone grants Thanos immense, unrivaled power on a cosmic scale, allowing him to effortlessly tear apart the surface of worlds and moons, destroy his enemies with blasts of cosmic energies, and enhance his strength and durability to nearly unmatched and indestructible levels. Directly linked with and representing all space in the universe, the Space Stone grants Thanos direct control over the fabric of space itself, allowing him to telekinetically throw parts of Titan's destroyed moon, levitate and fold space to create portals so they may instantaneously traverse across the universe. Directly linked with and representing reality itself, the Reality Stone grants Thanos the ability to mold and reshape the fabric of reality as he sees fit, allowing him to effortlessly transmute anything and anyone in his vicinity, create intangible illusions, and reform the entire landscape in which he's in. Directly linked with and representing the souls of all sentient beings in the universe, the Soul Stone grants Thanos the power to manipulate the souls of his victims, allowing him to end the lives of his victims with but a snap of his fingers. When further empowered by the 5 other stones combined, this ability can be performed on a universal scale. Directly linked with and representing all time in the universe, the Time Stone grants Thanos direct control over the fabric of time itself, allowing him to halt, revert, and accelerate its flow, as well as generate endless time loops. Directly linked with and representing the minds of all sentient beings in the universe, the Mind Stone grants Thanos the capability to influence and control minds of his enemies. Thanos himself fought with web covering his eyes. This demonstrates that he has enhanced senses also. Archangels are primordial angels that existed long before the creation of the Big Bang. They are non-corporal and soulless. As they predate souls, they aren't affected by time or disease and don't need to breathe, eat, or sleep to sustain themselves. Mantis is able to manipulate emotions using her touch. For example, she can make a sad person happy or calm down an angry one. She caused Gamora to become scared when attacking her. She has also made people more docile to the point of unconsciousness. Mantis was able to put even Ego, a celestial being who is a planet, to sleep with her empathic manipulation ability, but Thanos still resisted this power. Thanos can wield Stormbreaker, which can collapse the minds of beings who lack strength to wield it into madness. Thanos can fight with Thor, Iron Man, Captain America at the same time for several minutes. As the second oldest Archangel, Lucifer has extensive knowledge on the workings of the universe and immense awareness on virtually everything in it. He's a very accomplished fighter with millennia worth of fighting experience and thorough combat training. Lucifer claims that he never lies or even tricks because he does not need to, as he has said, "I will never lie to you. I will never trick you." He promised both his vessels, Nick and Sam, that he would be honest with them. He also said that he sympathizes with his vessels, both of whom are victims like himself. He went to some lengths to get Sam's acceptance, sparing Dean's life on several occasions and allowing Sam revenge against some of the demons that controlled his life. Despite this, Lucifer is largely manipulative and has been proven to mislead on occasion, suggesting that this was more of a ploy to gain trust rather than an actual commitment, and he would bend this rule when it's to his advantage. Thanos is a cunning and ruthless individual with an intellect sharpened by centuries of experience. He's a brilliant strategist, commanding vast armies that have devastated countless worlds and destroyed empires across the galaxy, which earned him renowned as one of the most fearsome warlords in the universe. Thanos is an incredibly skilled combatant who easily outmaneuvered heroes such as Thor, the Hulk, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Captain America, etc. during their confrontations, and could quickly and intuitively learn and master how to wield the Infinity Stones. This dude found a way to time travel from 2014 to 2023 after obtaining Pym particles and reverse engineered and mass produced them alongside Ebony Maw. He is also an incredibly charismatic master manipulator. So that's going to round up both these combatants. I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts on who I think wins more often than not in a cross-verse situation. Okay, so let's talk about AP speed hexes, let's do some comparisons and see who would take victory more often than not in a cross-verse situation. So starting off with Thanos. Now physical AP, the IG gauntlet is what's going to really be putting in work in this fight. However, I will still address AP for Thanos in terms of physical attack potency, and then I will talk about more so near the end, go over more context. Now Thanos, easily physical AP wise, there's some country level stuff, there's some large island, there's even some planetary arguments, especially if you use the Conju calc. There's some really good stuff for Thanos. However, what is more important and what shines the most in this fight is the Infinity Gauntlet. Now the Infinity Gauntlet has shown some low multiversal and multiversal plus feats, potentially even higher, such as Ultron using the Infinity Gauntlet to affect and basically mess up the multiverses. So right off the bat, that's some really good scaling for the Infinity Gauntlet. However, Thanos, during the Infinity Wars and of course Endgame, Thanos' goal was to specifically shred the universe down to its last atom, which on its own would easily be a universal feat. Now Thanos could use the Infinity Gauntlet to a higher degree, and since both these combatants aren't bound by their narrative in this matchup, both combatants will be fighting to kill, and they'll be fighting at best. Now Thanos himself has mastery over the Infinity Gauntlet, which I don't think it's a stretch to say that Thanos can use it to that higher degree. So there's definitely some low multiversal plus arguments for Thanos being able to use it to that degree. Now the context of why Thanos was only using it on a universal scale, again, that was his mission. His focus was to shred the universe down to its last atom. Basically, he wasn't going to use it to that extent, you know, the low multi or the multiversal plus feat that Ultron did, and I definitely think it's very possible for Thanos to do that if we use high-end scaling. Now moving on to Lucifer. Easily, Lucifer is above deities that can ravage their galaxies and consume most of their universe, and they are completely garbage and fodder and are considered to be insects and atoms in comparison to the weakest archangel. And this easily would put Lucifer above the baseline universal ranges, and if you use the statement, this can easily be quantified and applied to Lucifer, reaching him higher into the octillion ranges, which is pretty insane. Now Gabriel created a parallel universe that perfectly replicated the realities of over 300 universes and can dissolve these universes with just a thought. The difference between a punch and a thought is easily at least 1,000 times of a difference. This altogether would easily make Lucifer, if we stick with the finite scaling, very high into uni. There's easily universal plus, there's easily low multiversal and low multiversal plus scaling for Lucifer if we imply all of these together, and Lucifer, just in a non-perfect vessel, is still above his little brother Gabriel. And if we stick with the finite universal levels for both the IG Gauntlet and Lucifer, on top of the already established quantifications and higher numbers we can add to Lucifer's plate, Lucifer would just be way too high in the universal tiers of AP, and he would eclipse the Infinity Gauntlet very easily just due to having higher quantification and higher scaling if we stick with universal. However, if we take the Gauntlet to its highest, if we include the multiversal plus or possibly higher scaling, then Thanos would have the AP edge going into this with the Gauntlet. Now let's move over to speed. So Thanos and Lucifer, as a low end, both have massively hypersonic scaling. However, Lucifer would scale higher due to his quantification with the calc. If we go higher and give Thanos his relativistic plus to FTL reaction speed, we've got to do the same thing with Lucifer, folks. So if we apply the octillion statement, of course, if we apply the statement and give Lucifer his octillion quantification, the ranges, bro, he's getting extremely high into the speed tiers. This dude is easily reaching the massively hypersonic plus, and essentially Lucifer is going to literally blitz Thanos. And if we're going to do the same thing for Thanos, even if we reach the higher ends and use like the Captain Marvel scaling, where she's able to travel over into the million times the speed of light ranges, which is the massively faster than light ranges, easily massively faster than light plus, even with this high end and correlating this to be generous to her combat speed, this would not be enough for Thanos. Lucifer is way too fast. Even if you downgrade Lucifer's speed, the quantification gap is just way too big. As a cherry on top, Lucifer even has higher speed, folks. Lucifer predates time, and Lucifer was naturally moving around which would naturally give him inaccessible speed, if not higher. So even if we go to the highest of highs, it just gets progressively worse for Thanos when we go over the speed scaling. Lucifer is just a monster when it comes to the speed tiers. Now let's go over some hacks, folks. So Lucifer himself has his subatomic snap, and most of his other abilities correlate with a snap or just his thought. Due to Lucifer's senses, he would see Thanos' true nature and would know that Thanos is paltry and the Infinity Gauntlet is what's helping Thanos, and he would see that the gauntlet is the biggest threat out of everything else in that fight. He would perceive it quickly, and I just see Lucifer going straight in for the kill. Now, what can Thanos do in this situation? Let's entertain it. So the time hacks wouldn't really be helpful against Lucifer, even if we argue the time stone, just due to Lucifer having inaccessible speed, and Lucifer is immune to any form of time hacks or time-based anything. And Lucifer, pretty much on his own, he has his own time hacks himself. So even if Thanos tried to do stuff, Lucifer can just use his own time hacks. Lucifer is essentially a walking Infinity Gauntlet, and he has many of the hacks pretty similar. So he can perform time loops, he can revert time, he can fast forward time. He'd be able to just use his own time hacks to cancel out anything, or he'd just simply be unaffected by it completely. Now, as for the Soul Stone, straight off the bat, it's just irrelevant. Lucifer has no soul, so the Soul Gem is completely redundant and useless. As for the Reality Stone, Thanos can alter reality with the stone, however this wouldn't be very effective either. As we've seen in Supernatural, the Archangel's vessels were turned to salt, and we've seen that the Archangels and their non-corporeal forms were completely fine. They were unaffected by the transmutation. We would need more further arguments for the Reality Stone and more evidence to prove that the stone can affect things on that level, non-corporeal beings, and it just hasn't been shown, unfortunately. So I don't really see the Reality Stone having any effect on Lucifer and his form. Even if the vessel is compromised, Lucifer can heal, fix, revive, or pretty much just regen the vessel back to its working condition. Lucifer's true form may even be a danger for Thanos, as looking at Archangel's true forms can literally burn your eyeballs out. Now as for the Mind Stone, Thanos has never used the Mind Stone, so we are unsure of how he would utilize it in combat. But even if we let Thanos use it, I think Thanos in character is more willing to use all his stones, but despite the fact he hasn't shown to use it, let's just be generous, just due to the fact that Archangels are very complex in their nature. They also have resistances to mind hacks, so I don't think the stone would be very effective in that regard. Now as for the Space Stone, the Space Stone is completely redundant too. It won't help. Lucifer can teleport, time travel, open portals, and he can just come back even if he was to get BFR'd. So ultimately, who do I think wins more often than not in this situation? I gotta give victory to Lucifer. Even if we give higher scaling to Thanos and give him his multi-plus scaling or higher, even if he had the AP going into this, his other stats are unfortunately completely garbage in comparison to what Lucifer has. AP is not everything in a fight. If you cannot deal with other aspects of an opponent, whether it's speed and hacks or any type of nasty, destructive or stubborn abilities, you are done for. And even if we are generous and give Thanos the multi-plus scaling and only give Lucifer his other stuff, Lucifer can break things down on a subatomic level. Yes, the gauntlet can also destroy things on an atomic level. However, atomic is paltry in comparison to subatomic. Subatomic particles are a lot smaller than atomic, and subatomic destruction is very lethal. And if that happens to Thanos, he's done for. He's going to be scattered across the universe subatomically, and he's going to be done for. A lot of Thanos' hacks are just very redundant, not very useful. They don't really help him in this regard, just due to Lucifer's true form, resistances, and just lacking in certain departments where Thanos just cannot take advantage of those things, such as the Soul Gem, for example. And as for the speed aspect, as mentioned, Lucifer, way too fast, higher quantifications. If we go further, it just gets progressively worse for Thanos. So more often than not, I have to give victory to Lucifer. Lucifer will see Thanos for what he really is. He will literally go, without a doubt, he will literally go straight with the Thanos snap himself. He'll go for his Lucifer snap, in fact, and literally subatomically rip apart Thanos. And I just see him just being left in subatomic particles scattered across the universe. So anyway, I gotta give victory to Lucifer more often than not. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for further content. It's been real. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.